When I was 6 and my uncle was 24, he did something that you can't do anymore. He took me to a racetrack across the river called Cahokia Downs. That was where I saw horses for the first time. It was 1955. We didn't have a television yet, so I never watched Roy Rogers or My Friend Flicka. I had no idea why we were there or what we were supposed to do, but Uncle Drew held my hand, bought me an ice cream cone, walked around when the horses were being mounted, and shouted when they were running. After we had been there a while, he handed me a piece of paper and a pencil and told me to circle some numbers. I circled 4, then 2, then 8. He then handed the paper to a man behind a window along with $6. He later told me it was his last $6, but I never believed that. He got another piece of paper back and we went to our seats. We sat quietly, jumped up and down for the race, and then he grabbed my hand and took me back to the window. He handed in the piece of paper, and the man counted out his winnings. $5,986, all in 20s and $2 bills. My uncle was grinning from ear to ear. We walked around for a long time, then we went to the parking lot. Just before we got into his car, he squatted down and put his hands on my shoulders. He said, "Don't tell anyone we've been here or where you got this money. Hide it, save it, and buy something nice someday." He put a folded green pile in my hand. I stuck it in my pocket, and when we got home just before dinner, I went to my room and shoved it under the mattress. A month later, I remembered it, pulled it out, and counted it. It was 43 $2 bills. The $86 that I later realized would tell everyone where he had been and how he had gotten the money. The reason I waited so long was that the day after we went to the races, on Sunday afternoon, my uncle walked in the front door with a puppy, a Cocker Spaniel. He said it was a present for me because he knew I wanted a dog, and I did. Mom and I had no idea how to bring up a puppy. She was a blonde Cocker Spaniel, and I named her Dizzy. Maybe a misspelling of Disney, since Lady and the Tramp was the reason I'd wanted a cocker. Mom only took me to see it one time, but it was as though certain pictures were engraved into my brain. The moon shining over puddles in the road, the spaghetti scene, the shadows, trees looming in the background. Once we had my very own lady in our house, Mom set up a gate that kept her in the kitchen most of the time and spread paper all over the floor to paper train her. It was my job to feed her. Hill's horse meat, which we bought in cans and which stank so much when I opened the can that I could barely stand it. Fortunately for me, since it was my job to make sure Dizzy went outside and did her business, our house on Skinker had a yard. The 4 houses between ours and Clayton Road had almost no yards. Dizzy would race out the door and tear around in the grass, often so happy that she would forget to do her business and then come back inside and do it in the kitchen. She wanted to get out of the house and explore the neighborhood. The scariest thing she did was run across Skinker into the park. She never once came back when I was looking for her, though a couple of times I sat down on the hillside that abutted the park across from an apartment building called the Wiltshire, and she wandered past and decided to come over to me. I handed her the milk bone and snapped on the leash. But that didn't convince her to like me.